Salvete! Hello everybody. Welcome to another video. This is Latin with Stephen. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I want to share with you some Roman coins that I've been looking into. I'm not an expert on the topic, but I've been spending quite a lot of time analyzing various Roman coins, looking at the portraits of the emperors, the themes, gives us insight into things that were happening at the time. So it's very interesting. So I'll share some of my favorite ones with you. I mean, there are so many, but and see what you think of them. It's worth considering. I mean, if you bear in mind the fascination and the enthusiasm shared by a lot of people in today's society for royal families. We'll take away television, modern media, internet, cameras, etc. And the coin then spread throughout the whole empire with the portrait of your emperor, your Caesar on, becomes a very fascinating piece, a very fascinating material, especially when other members of the imperial family are shown on it. You can only imagine the fascination, really. In his book on Roman coinage, the author Sutherland called the coin the common man's imperial gazette. So through the coins they'd find out about things happening, in Rome and beyond. Religious festivals, new buildings were all commemorated on the coins. So let's have a look then. The first one I've got for you, see what you can work out on this one. This was brought out during the early reign of Emperor Tiberius, who was a second emperor. I'm just looking on my screen now at them, so that's why I'm looking down. And you can see it has the portrait, the profile of Emperor Augustus, and he's got a special crown on. This is the corona radiata, the radiated crown, which is associated with gods, with the divine. Like rays coming off of it. And you see on this, if you start from the left going round, it says Divo Augusto. It's in the dative. It's dedicated to the divus. So when an emperor, usually a good one, passed away, his successor, with the agreement of the Senate, could choose to consecrate that emperor, which means then he became a sort of god, if you will, not quite up there with Jupiter and etc., because they were deus, but divus certainly elevated that person above and beyond normal human existence. So he was a divus. Julius Caesar became divus. So here we got this crown. This coin is to Divo Augusto, and we've got that special crown signifying that he's been consecrated. And on the reverse of the coin, we've got that looks to me there as an eagle, the aquila, and the aquila was always the symbol of the soul, the spirit, I guess, flying up high to heaven after having left the body. And from around, starting in the left-hand corner at the bottom with the C, you've got consecratio, the consecration of the deified. Of the former Emperor Augustus. So this was carried out during the reign of Tiberius. I think it's a very lovely one. I particularly like the eagle. And then you've got a similar one from the same time, commemorating Augustus again. This one's even fancier. His head's looking the other way. And we've got Divus Augustus, in the nominative case this time. And I don't know if you can see the last word on the obverse, which is the main side of the coin with his portrait on. It says pater, father, Divus Augustus pater, to the deified Augustus, father. Gives us some sense of his status. He was given the title pater patriae. Patria is the homeland, the nation. So he was father of the homeland, father of the nation. It's just my translation. And again, he's got that radiate crown on. And if you can see right above his head, there's also a star, indicating as well his consecration, that he's now joined the gods, or a kind of god. And just by his nose and his mouth there on the left-hand side of the coin, there's the thunderbolt of Jupiter as well. So again, that's he's been then translated up into the gods. On the reverse of the coin, we've got a looks to me like a female figure seated, whether that's some kind of deity or not, whether it's a reference to his wife Livia. In any case, SC is the Senatus Consultum, which is to say this coin has been produced with the agreement or the authorization of the Senate as well. The early Principate, from Augustus onwards, the emperor took charge over the production of gold and silver, so precious coinage, and the bronze was usually left to the Senate to at least to authorize it in Rome. So that's our first one. Let's move on to the next coin. This is also from the Principate, or the period of Emperor Tiberius, the second emperor. And this is a very unique coin. I think it's really lovely. So on the obverse, the head of the coin, you've got twin little heads, coming out of the horn of plenty, the cornucopia. And then right through the middle, you've got a staff, that's the caduceus, often associated with, sometimes with Mercury. It symbolizes also felicitas, felicity, good fortune, good luck. And this coin came out at the birth of Emperor Tiberius, his grandchildren. So from his son, Drusus, and you get these baby boys. And then the felicitas makes sense, doesn't it? Because that's, it's the future of his dynasty, so to speak. Male children representing possibly future emperors. So that's a very beautiful one with the two heads looking at each other, coming out of the cornucopia, a symbol in itself of prosperity, wellness. And on the reverse, again, we've got the SC, Senatus Consultum, decree of the Senate. And this coin actually starts at the top. Drusus Caesar, son of Tiberius, grandson of Augustus. So this one's actually this is in honor of his son, who'd just become a father at the time. So that's a nice one, isn't it? Quite unique, that coin, I feel, really. Okay, so let's move on now from the time of Tiberius to his successor. And his successor, who came to the throne, so to speak, with really no experience, political or military, and this was Gaius Caesar, often referred to as Caligula. He was brought up on the battlefield with his father, the famous General Germanicus. So we've got Gaius Caesar, Augustus Germanicus, that was his father's name, and it says Pontifex Maximus was the chief priest of the Roman state, Roman religion, head of Roman religion in a sense, and the emperors always took on that title into the early Christian period. So he's got all these various titles there on the obverse of the coin. What I like about this is the reverse, because we can see there are three figures there standing side by side, and those are his sisters. And one of the features of Gaius' coinage was the prominence of family members. So we have coins dedicated to his late mother and father, and here his three sisters, who were Agrippina, Julia, and on the top, Drusilla. Now there are all sorts of, if you read the literature, rumours about his perhaps somewhat unwholesome relations with his sisters, but we're told he was particularly devoted to Drusilla. The other two, Agrippina and Livia, he actually exiled, and it was for his successor Claudius to bring them back. But Drusilla passed away during his lifetime, and apparently he was absolutely distraught at the time. We've got the SC again, Senatus Consultum. His sisters, furthermore, he conferred upon them the special rights of Vestal Virgins, so they had special seats at the theatre, and they also, in the general oath that Roman citizens had to swear, they had to swear loyalty to the emperor and to his sisters. I have the Latin here. It says, Neque me liberosque meos cariores habebo. I shall not esteem myself or my children more dearly, quam Gaiam habebo et sorores eias, than I esteem Emperor Gaius and his sisters. And I believe even when a consul in the Senate wanted to make a motion, he had to make some kind of reference, pay some kind of homage to Gaius' sisters. So a most unusual thing to do. I think the Republicans would have turned in their graves but clearly his affection for his sisters. But that's a beautiful coin, I think, with the three, Agrippina, Julia, and Drusilla. So let's move on. I hope you're enjoying these, and I hope the visuals are alright, guys. I mean, if it's a bit small, you can actually find all these online if you just... They're all on Google as well. Different qualities. So we've got one more here with Gaius, bronze coin with his head. In profile, Gaius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, again reference to his priesthood, Pontifex Maximus. And on the reverse, we have a seated female figure, SC, Senate's approval, the Senate's stamp on this, and we have Vesta, or Vesta, the corporation of female priestesses who served for 30 years. One of the oldest religious figures in the Roman tradition. Vesta was symbolized, represented by the fire, and in the old circular temple of Vesta, the Vestal Virgins had to keep that fire alight all year round. In the home, it was symbolized by the hearth in every Roman's home as well. So Vesta was very, very important. And as we've just mentioned, his sisters had the honours conferred upon them of Vestal Virgins. So perhaps it's a kind of reference to his sisters as well, or maybe just the traditional Roman religion. I don't know, but it's Vesta's on there. Okay, moving on. And next ones. This is very interesting. So we move on from Gaius or Caligula, and we skip his uncle, who was Claudius, who's interesting in himself, and we come to the fifth and final member of the Julio-Claudian dynasty, the first emperors, and this was Nero, young Nero, or I think it was Lucius Domitius. His father was Domitius Ahenobarbus, but he was adopted by Claudius when his mother Agrippina married Claudius, and then became Nero into the Claudian family. So I think he was about 16, or maybe just under, and so a very, very prominent figure in Rome at the time. And his early principate was his mother, who was Agrippina the Younger, Agrippina the Second, very forceful, powerful figure, we are told. And here we have her facing her son, both Nero and Agrippina facing one another. Very youthful Nero here, and his mother. And interestingly, if you read this coin, it's quite hard to make out. It's actually addressed to Agrippina, as Agrippina, as wife of the deified Claudius. So Nero and the Senate consecrated Claudius after his death. That made him a divus, or a divus. So wife of the deified former emperor Claudius, and mother, martyr of Nero Caesar. So she's actually getting on this coin, it seems. She's getting the credit. And on the back, we've got, this time it's to Nero, Nero Claudius, Caesar Augustus. And we've got the oak wreath and Senatus, ex-Senatus Consulto. So this has been, again, it's come from the Senate have allowed this coin to be published. Very, very nice one. And then same one underneath, but just different version. Silver one, slightly bigger. Very nice images of Nero, young Nero and his mother Agrippina. I don't know if you're familiar with the history and the story, but Agrippina later died. She disappears from the coins as well, which is quite interesting. So she's very prominent in the coins towards the end of the reign of Claudius and at the beginning of the reign of Nero, and then she disappears, and she indeed left the earthly plane, and it's her death is usually attributed to the machinations of her son Nero and his helpers. It's said that he had her killed to get her out of the way. So that's her story. So, but she starts off very prominent on the coins. And then my last one for you guys is probably my favourite, I think. Hang on a minute, I've just lost my screen, it's not loading. And this, we're jumping forward a while now to the Antonine dynasty. And this was a son of the philosopher emperor Marcus Aurelius, if you've heard of him. And his son was Commodus. And one of the interesting things about Commodus is that he associated himself with Hercules to the extent that he even appears on the coins. And so if you can see this one here on the obverse coin, we've got the Emperor Commodus in profile, and it looks fairly unusual, doesn't it? And what he's actually got is a lion's skin over the top, and that was what was worn, it is said in the legend, by Hercules after he killed the lion as one of his challenges. So and then so you've got him, a Commodus with a Hercules lion skin over the top of his head, half covering him, and then on the reverse we've got a representation of Hercules standing there very strong with his famous club. And it's not easy to read the legend going around it, but what it actually says is, or one of the things it says is Hercule Romano, to the Roman Hercules, and that was what Commodus was referred to occasionally at this period. And the second coin, actually, it's a bit clearer, isn't it? So again, you've got Commodus facing the other way this time, and then you've got once again the Herculean lion skin, and on the reverse we've got the club in the center, and then the Roman Hercules, Hercule Romano. So I thought that was quite an interesting one. So there we go. Which is your favorite, guys? Which do you like the most? Let me know. I hope you enjoyed looking at those, and maybe I'll come back with some more in the future if I can find some different interesting ones to show you. And please let me know if you know of any particular ones that you like because of what they symbolize, or maybe just the representation of the emperor or a prominent figure on the actual coin itself. So there you go. We're about 20 minutes, so I'll sign out here. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. Please give me a like if that's the case. I'll be back soon with more videos. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys, and I shall say, walete.